All right, see if I can show you. So I've decided to go ahead and put the diamond wheels on. The diamond wheels, if you look at the difference between the corundum wheels, these ones are the full thickness of the stone, and these ones are recessed in the center. So what I had to do was make myself a little makeshift spacer to get everything spaced back out. And that actually allowed me to get a little bit more distance between these two, where sometimes I'm getting into this one from the right hand side. I've got my, so I didn't do anything, I just took it apart to here, replaced this, put the bearing back on, put the pulley back on. Now I got the polishing pad to put back on, and then we'll be back in business grinding with diamond, and we'll see how that does. Looks like I'm gonna have to, oh, it needs to adjust this way just a little bit. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, with everything back on, it turned out that I had dinged up the edge of this when I was kind of tapping it all together, so I had to sand the end of it. But now we're got our polishing felt back on, our pulley. We have a 220, a 360, and a 1200. What we had to start with, I don't know, because they were just a medium grit and a fine grit was all they were labeled. So it may be that I want to order something like a 400 or a 600 in between, but I've got 400 and 600 and even 1000 grit belts I can put here, so I can do steps in between these two if I need to, but we'll see how that gets us for a finish. I'll put it back together and try it out. All right, we're back together. Hey, dang. I'm not sure that they definitely have some more wobble than the other wheels did, but they're quieter. Listen to that. Might just be that they're considerably lighter. You guys will enjoy that, not being quite so loud. I'm not sure what we do about this wobbly wheel here, but should we test it out and see how they grind? It definitely has a different sound. I hope it's quieter. Here's what we've got. Got this little guy and this little guy. Let's dive right in. I can already tell that this is further left than I'm used to, because I'm just sidling up to start working here, and I have to go 1/2 of a step to the left. What I might do, I might swap things around. I could put a bigger spacer in here, give myself more room between each one. Heck, I could even fit a third wheel in here if I wanted to jam one in here, if I just adjusted the spacers. Oh wow. Well, that cuts very smooth and very fast, very fast. I can tell right now I'm gonna have to go in there and order about a 400 grit off of Kingsley Norris, because this right here, maybe it's just because it's brand new, and maybe if we cap something, maybe some of this moonstone on it, just break it in a little bit. Oh yeah, that will take material off in a hurry. It'll just take getting used to the different pressure that I'll use. I'm just literally, I use the term kiss, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just barely letting it touch it. But I can tell that I probably want a 220 grit here and maybe a 400 grit for the next one. Good to know. It just eats it like with no pressure. It's massive difference. Got sand coming up there, but it might be under the color bar. Wavy color bar. It looks like color's right above the sand all the way around though. Yeah, I'm going to have to retrain the old hands to be a lot lighter if I'm going to keep these wheels. See how this one cuts. almost like 2 earrings type of material. We can get 2 earrings out of that piece. I'm not sure if the color goes all the way over. Maybe it does. So I think we cut that in half and go for 2 earring pieces. I don't know why I'm thinking earrings, other than I just have some earring sets in there. With the wheel I was used to, you would put a decent amount of pressure on here. This, all I'm doing is allowing it to make contact. And if you got careless at all, you'd lose a lot of material. I think we're ready to dop that up and go to the other wheel and cut the other one in half. So I'll cut it in half, dop the 3 pieces up, and we'll go to the other wheel and see how it cuts. Alright, let's see if we can't make ourselves a couple of earring rounds. Oh my goodness sakes. This one almost acts like it's more... Yeah, this one's I had one labeled 220 and one labeled 360. We'll double check. We can break it in a little bit. Splashing mud all over myself. See if that helps at all. It requires a very delicate hand. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go in and order some, maybe a 400 grit. So this one being the smaller one, I got to get it to the round and then make the other one match it. Pretty close. I wonder if I somehow got it mixed up and put the 220 here. Not sure what it feels like. You just got to have very adjustable hands. What are we going to go for here? Well, we still have our little pendant we've been trying for, but it seems like this is bigger than we need for that. A lot of sand there. I don't know if we can get a stone out of this or not. definitely get used to the more aggressive grip, but it takes a very sensitive hand. I'd really like to put something in this, but this is way bigger than it needs to be for that. We waste this piece. I'm not real confident this thing's going to cut anything anyway with all that sand underneath there. See the chips? Can you see the chips coming off the face that tell you how aggressive this wheel is? I'm hoping that the more I bring it in, the more that sand will come out, because it looks like it only goes to there. Maybe. It'd be nice if it started to come out. It's not like we don't have plenty to give if we want to use it for this. Let's move to the finer grit wheel. We've tried that one a little bit. Man, it's like cutting hot butter. That sand right there might mess us up on this one. I don't know if we'll be able to get it around. That one might have to come down into an oval. Man, oh, see that? Just that little that little bobble right there took a big old chunk out of the side. I don't like this at all. There's no room for error. And I like room for error. Okay, that one can come off on the... We gave up on the earrings, so we keep this one a circle, do one oval, one circle. One round. It'd be hard to describe. It'd be like if you were picking lint off of a bobcat's tail. That's about how delicate you got to be here. Picking lint off a polecat's tail. Okay. And if you were wanting to cut stuff in a hurry, you certainly could. Man, that sand just keeps coming up. There's no getting away from it. I don't even dare try to clean up that very tip right there, because any contact at all and it'll be gone. I'd rather do it on the finishing wheel. If anything, that sand's come up higher, not gotten lower. Stupid sand. Okay, we're ready for the polishing wheel. We're gonna get a stone out of this one. I'm trying to let you guys make judgment here on this stuff without me having to comment too much, but this is the same parcel as the two from yesterday from the Blacklighters. One of the handy parcels. You can judge for yourself whether or not this stuff is something you would like to buy and work. A little bit of sand left there. Color's in there trying to come out. If that little How close are we to this? We got about that much of the bottom we could take off if there's enough color in this to make it worth setting. It's in there, it's just not very bright. Let's see if we can make it come out a little bit better. Let's see. I just don't think there's enough color in that to make it worth setting in anything. The color is there. The color is there all the way around. It just doesn't face at all with any brightness. See if we're doing any better here. Any better there? A little better. How about around? A little bit better. These just aren't very bright. Just not very bright. that one. There's that one. There's that one. Only thing I can say is trust your eyes. If it doesn't look very bright, it's not going to be very bright. Well, there you go. There's our 3 little stones we cut. I'm definitely going to have to order a much finer grit diamond wheel. I'll probably put the fine grit one back on so that I can have a little bit better control. Maybe keep the 220 or the 320 and the fine grit wheel on for now, and then order a 400 or 600. But all 3 of those have some color and they all cut something, but those will probably all go in the chip jar. Don't forget to enter. All you gotta do is comment on the video that says third time's a charm or third cut's a charm on cutting the ring stones, and you can get 100 carats of that. You can be entered to win. So here's the interesting thing. I really feel like this one was chipping worse and grinding even harder than this one, but it's pretty clear that this, I mean, this is the 220 grit and this is the 360 grit. You can see the size of the grit is, this is a finer grit than this one. I don't know why this one felt like it was even more chippy. Maybe just to be worn a little bit, but I mean, here's, I've got a 220 grit wheel and a 360 grit wheel. If I was to do it again, I would just get the 360 and a 600. What I think I'll do is I'll take this one off and move this one to here, and maybe even adjust my spacers so that I can have a little more space between them, and put the corundum fine grit wheel back in this spot, because it was perfect as a step between the first wheel and the finishing wheel. So that's what we'll try. Put the 220 wheel here and the carborundum fine grit wheel over here next to it. I don't know why this thing is so wobbly. We'll see if that affects the way it cuts. But this is the one that felt way chippier and aggressive, but maybe it just needs to break in. Got another piece of rough here. Another piece from the 100 carats for $100. Parcel. The last one was 50 carats for $100, and you saw what quality that was, so you can imagine the jump up here. But we're really just doing it to see how the wheel feels. See how it cuts. Man, this is aggressive and fast. It's smooth though. It's very smooth. It just eats it up. I think our color, if there's any on this, is going to be on the top right there. So hey, there's color. She just wanted me to hear what she had to say. Maybe we'll get a little stone out of this. Maybe that color right there will turn into something. This is a weird sensation because it's so smooth, but it's cutting so fast that you could easily get in trouble here if you let things get out of hand. You see how quick I can take that corner off? Just zoom. You can just zoom material off of this thing. see color here and color here. Wonder if it will link up. Get that sand in there where we can at least roll it out. I see color under it. I don't think this is going to be very bright color, but it is color. Gives us something to work with and play with. Alright, we should go for a shape of some sort. An oval it is. I'm glad you guys were thinking that. I don't know if you can tell, but like if I get careless even for just a second and don't watch the pressure I put on the wheel, you just watch it just sort of melt away. It's going to take some getting used to. So maybe we have found a purpose for a practice parcel. So I can see we need to square up our bottom with the way our face is going to end up. About like so, I bet. Man, this thing cuts smooth and fast. We just took that whole bottom down. A little bit of color showing through the bottom right there. Alright, we got that little window and hoping that the whole thing faces like that. Hoping that sand right there will come out, but it's not really. I think we need to dop it up now. Hopefully you guys appreciate the quietness. See how wobbly this wheel is? It doesn't seem to be affecting the way it cuts, but the left to right, I don't know why it's so wobbly. That's the bottom. Alright, let's dop it up and see if we can make this into something. Picking lint off a polecat's tail. I don't think you guys would click on the video if I named it that, but that's what this is. I'm only doing this on this wheel just as a challenge. As you can see, we got a nice, it's not perfect. If your eye is good, you can see that there's a couple of high spots here, a low spot right here, high spot, but very, I mean, we're talking, you know, hundredths of an inch. And so we can clean that up on the next wheel, but it's kind of like the challenge I've seen on this really aggressive, takes no pressure wheel. Can I control the cut? Answer the question, is that sand going to come out? It's early morning. I moved the other wheel. Not quite awake. Can you hear the difference in the sound? And the same amount of pressure that I was using over there to not cut, it definitely doesn't cut when to not cut too much. That amount of pressure on this is not doing anything. It'll take a minute. I definitely like it, the smoothness of the diamond. That sand isn't coming out, but the color's starting to come through. How deep is that sand going to be? Kind of funny, I'm putting 2 or 3 times the pressure, removing way less material. I would be willing to bet, this isn't meant to be a brag, but I would be willing to bet that not very many people could bounce from one wheel to the other on this and not make a mistake. It takes a very careful hand. You definitely want to be on decaf. No espressos, Justin. I had 2 Diet Pepsis with lunch, so I'm right on the edge of being able to pull it off. Yeah, that sand's really not coming out. So we're gonna, let's go back over here to the other one. We're gonna make an adjustment here, and we can do it very quickly, we know. That sand's not gonna come out, we'll just bring it right up to it. Now I think we'll be able to roll it out. So let's go back and perfect our shape again. So if you guys I just watched the Opal Mills. Good day everyone. Welcome to the Opal Mills. His video, cutting some Andamuka, looked like crystal. Man, that was some nice material. Got a lot of nice cuts out of that. I'm sure all of you probably catch his stuff. If you don't, go find it, the Opal Mills. Go watch his newest video that just came out a few minutes ago, or an hour or so ago probably. I just watched it while I was eating lunch at the Chinese restaurant. And he cut some beautiful stones out of some Andamuka. Okay, we got our shape back. Let's see if we can roll that sand out. Still being stubborn. The color's starting to peek out next to it. Do we have to go down even more to get that out? It's a stubborn sand spot. I know you guys keep telling me to get I have a light that I can use to shine into these things, and some of you keep giving me the very good advice that I should go get a gem torch. But being from the US, I don't know what that is. A torch is something you light with rags and kerosene to walk through the cornfields. Or maybe explore a cave looking for the murderer if you're on Scooby-Doo. No, I'm just kidding. I should, but here's what I keep thinking. 200 bucks for that good gem torch, or $200 worth more rough to cut. And I keep buying the rough. And it keeps being garbage, and I would have had money better spent to get Justin's gemfish gem torch. But like I said, I have one that works good enough when I feel like I need to look at them. Man, that thing is being stubborn, that sand spot. It's just nearly out now. I think it'll come out on the next wheel now. Check our shape one last time. Do I have a high spot right there? Kinda. Okay. Question is the color bar gonna pop through on the whole thing or only in those spots? And I kind of got a feeling it's only going to be in those spots where it's already popped through. I think so. I think we only got color where we have color. I don't think that color bar goes all the way through. Should we find out? I just ran a groove right down through the middle of that stone to prove myself right or wrong, and I'm right. There's only color where there's color. Going down isn't going to bring it out anywhere else. Alright, let's finish it up. I probably could have swapped this out for a new 1200 grit expandable drum wheel while I had everything apart, but I didn't, and this one still cuts about right. If I cut on this side, it cuts more aggressively, as you can hear. Right here is the smoothest portion if I'm just getting ready to finish it up. Right here in the middle is kind of right in the middle. Alrighty, well, that's as good as that thing's gonna get. There's that one little color flash in it. But it was a good one, practice one to break in this wheel. I wouldn't have wanted to spend, I wouldn't want to grab a $100 piece of rough or $200, $300, or $400 or $700 worth of piece of rough to figure out how this wheel cuts. Polish it up. So here's a look at it. It's not a complete waste of time to do something like that, especially with new equipment. Without the face encumbered by all that pesky color, we can actually evaluate, how good our shape ended up, how clean our face was, as far as did I remove all the scratches and get a good polish on it. And I think there's a couple little micro cracks in it that are in the material, but as far as the polish and everything, it's a good judge on how well it would be on something where you had other things to distract you from it. So it's a good cut, and I'm excited about the new equipment. Tell me what you think.